Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon to those who are on the other side. Good morning, Etienne.
Hello Ellie, good morning, good evening.
Ça va bien?
Oui,
Yeah, great. So, thank you for being there, everyone. So, we see great number of people joining already. It keeps growing. So, we will wait 1 or 2 minutes to make sure that everybody has the time to connect, and we will start the session. So, great. So, again, welcome to those that are joining right now. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to let us know in the chat where you're joining us from. It's always great to hear and to know who are joining us. So we recognize a couple of names. Bonjour Olivier Agnel. Mm, a lot of partners and customers. So great to have you on board, everyone. So we wait another minute or so. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so one more minute before everybody gets connected. So we know that it's not always easy on the getting connected on the different platforms. It changes from one to another. Okay, great. So 10:01. I guess number keeps growing a bit. So good morning, good afternoon, a lot of people. So we have Bill joining from New York. Thank you, Bill, for letting us know in the chat. Feel free to let us know where you're joining us from. Always great to hear more about that. Great. So we're 10:01. I wanted to give a bit more time. We'll give it a go. Starting. Okay. So it's already, the recording is starting right now. So let's give it a go. It's 10:02. So welcome again, everyone, to those who just joined. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those who are joining wherever you're joining us from. So today, we're presenting you the latest success story we've deployed this year, and we've filmed in Germany earlier this summer. So hack, we're calling it automating tradition because it's a good traditional bakery and pastry manufacturer. So how they revolutionize their end-of-line palletizing with the Robotiq palletizing solution. So welcome and thank you for joining us. So with me today, I have the pleasure to be well circled by Etienne Sanson, our application director here at Robotiq. Good morning, Etienne.
good morning Ellie.
Thank,
Hello everyone.
thank you for joining us. Etienne is the leader of the turnkey solution services here at Robotiq. So he's the one who led the project at AC AG. So he's the right one to tell us more about the steps of that success story. And I'm Elizabeth Marie. Sorry for sometimes forget uh, to present myself. You're receiving all the invitation from me, and I see a lot of people coming again and again in the webinar. So I appreciate your attendance, and it's great to have you on board today. I'm here as a field marketing manager at Robotiq. So for the steps, so quick, we have a great agenda for today. We'll try to make it short. Luckily, we're having a live session. We love to offer live sessions for the webinar. So feel free to reach out in the chat to send any questions you might have. It's really an exchange. We appreciate it even throughout the session. But yes, there is kind of a short time. We want to put it into 30 minutes. So we'll also have a Q&A session at the end. So we'll go throughout the ACT palletizing story. We'll go through the challenges versus the solution that was selected. We'll go over all the steps of the lean robotics methodology, design, integrate, operate. So stay until the end because we'll tell the true cost of this Cobot palletizing project. So to give you an idea of the cost, and finally how you can start your project and the Q&A session. So to give a quick overview about ACK AG, so ACK is a German food bread and cakes manufacturer. So they produce high-end and specialty cakes for plain companies or fast food companies, fast food chains that you know well, and they are designing various types of cakes. So that's why you can see in the key results that we have been palletizing more than they have more than 800 different SKUs. So a lot of changes in this with the product of this customer. So they chose the palletizing solution, and they have one unit for now, but the second unit is in discussion already to equip their second line. So without making you wait, I already have a question. So unable to hear you, please let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me well, if at least one person hears me well, or you can just put a thumbs up within the reactions. Colton, thanks. Matt, Bill, Etienne, thank you. He says you hear me well, loud and clear. Cam, thank you so much. So please play with the settings a little bit, maybe microphone. The famous connect and disconnect is also sometimes a good trick. Great. So let's jump right in. So we're officially launching the video. It haven't been online yet. You guys are the first to see it. It's recently approved also by the customer. So be careful. The sound might be a little strong, and let's give it a go for a 2 minutes video. You will see that the managing director speaks English, but the production manager speaks German. You will have the subtitles in English. So enjoy the presentation.
The main challenge we wanted to fix with the solution was to make the process of packaging easier and more systematic.
Ich selber musste hier früher auch stehen und händisch meine Paletten stapeln, was auf den Tag verteilt natürlich sehr anstrengend ist. Mein Name ist Christopher Borowski, ich bin hier der Produktionsleiter. Und meine ersten Schritte, die ich hier gemacht habe, waren zufälligerweise auch hier in der Verpackung.
My name is Simon Gunnemann. I'm responsible for the production here in Kurtscheid. It's a company from the Hack AG. So at first we started to find a solution which we can easily integrate in our processes. It was important for us to have a flexible solution.
Mobilität war für uns auf jeden Fall ein wichtiger Faktor. Das liegt einfach daran, dass wir hier die unterschiedlichsten Verpackungslinien haben.
We were looking around if there are other competitors, but we decided to stay with Robotiq because of the flexibility and that we are able to the solution now. So the work with the Robotiq team was very professional. We had a very straightforward timeline.
Das Einrichten an sich hat so eine Woche gedauert. Für die Bediener selber in der Produktion, das war ein Tag. Und danach waren die meisten eigentlich auch fit damit.
The whole system seemed to be easily integrated in our processes. The key result to our production process now is that we are further flexible in our processes, in our and that we decrease the hard work of our employees.
Jetzt, wo der Roboter hier voll im Einsatz ist es für mich sehr gut, da ich habe nämlich viel mehr Zeit, mich auch um andere Dinge in der Produktion zu kümmern.
So I hope you guys enjoy the video, enjoy the story behind every project. I think Etienne, you can be proud of such great accomplishments and great project like that. So I hope it also gives you maybe some interest to deploy something similar on your side. So before we dive into each steps of the project and how it's been deployed, so a quick word about Robotiq. We have a couple of new people that have registered. So at Robotiq, we design and manufacture application solution to help industries accelerate their automation process and reducing integration costs. We've been in business for more than 15 years now. We used to be in plug and play, only focus on the plug and play industry. We still deliver amazing gripper to worldwide, but we focus on these three applications now: palletizing, machine tending, and screw driving. We are more than 150 employees, based. The HQ is in Quebec, in Canada. We have our offices also in Lyon, and the teams in Asia and in America, and with more than 200 global distribution partners also, that we collaborate every day. Our mission: free human hands from repetitive tasks. You can see in the background Jean-Philippe, our CTO, who loves outdoors and activities, and this is where he prefers the use of his hands. Having more than 500 units in production, so many projects have been done. We know you guys have a specific project. You might have specific requirements, so feel free to reach out to us, and we can evaluate this with you now that we have a lot of experience now in the Cobot palletizing deployment. Also, to give you an overview of also the type of customers we work with. So most of our customers are in the food and beverage industry. So that's where we have a lot of experience, open top specific interlayers and stuff you will see, but also a lot of customers are in pharma and consumer goods. So let's go back to the whole story. So Etienne, let's talk about it at the beginning of it. So what was Hack's main challenges towards manual palletizing?
It's really a typical story for the Western world. Basically, the reason to automate is the workforce. So they have challenges just to keep staff on their at the end of their line to do those jobs. People are aging, people are retiring. Palletizing is a job that can be hard on your body to do that 8 hours a day or even more. So that's really the number one reason we see pretty much everywhere in North America or in Europe, and it's leading this case. There are other reasons to automate that we won't cover that much, but it's really the core of it, and to save on the labor costs, to save on hiring costs, because the turnover of staff leads you to HR costs, and to bring people to do higher value tasks.
Indeed. In that case, yeah, we've seen it in the story. It was said in German, but as Christopher was saying, he used to stand right there. He's a production manager. He has a lot of work to do, but he had to stop what he had to do to go and support on palletizing manually the boxes. So for him, it's a good win. As every project, it comes with a lot of challenges or specific requirements. So what were the ones for Hack for that project it's in?
First of all, it's a tight and crowded space, so that's very common in the food industry, beverage industries. Typically, these industries, the factory floor were not designed for automation, so they were not built with having a robot taking space in mind. So usually, when we come up to food factories like that, this is at Hack specifically, but it's very common to see things like that, where there's not really any space to fit a robot, definitely not an industrial robot. And even for a Cobot, it can be a challenge in terms of space. So that's one thing. And then the next one is the mobility requirement. It was mentioned by Simon in the case study that they need to move the palletizer. They need to be flexible. So they produce basically in batches. So their line are not always running. They produce a batch of something and then a batch of something else. They have many SKUs, and the season also will change what they produce. I guess they're making stuff for Christmas right now or something like this. So they need to move the palletizer. So you see they have 3 lines, and they need to move it depending of what they produce. So basically each day or a few times a week, they will move the same palletizer from one line to the other. Yeah, then there's the interlayers on top of the normal palletizing that is really easy to do with our solution. We had to handle interlayers. So you see on the right the big stack of cardboard that was there. So they had to adapt their process and we had to handle these with the Cobot. It's something that we're used to do, but it's always a little bit of a challenge because it's not perfectly rigid. So when you handle a cardboard like that, it's like soft and it's bouncing all around. So you need to be you need some tricks to handle interlayers like that, but we successfully did it. We'll show it later.
Good. So let's dive right in. Also, introducing you to those who are not familiar to it. So we work a lot with the lean robotics methodology established by our CEO here at Robotiq. So let's go in the design phase a little bit. So how do customer and ACK, for example, evaluated their palletizing project with Cobot at the beginning?
With our standard solution, the most of the magic happen in fact in this stage. We can do a really quick design stage because the solution is standard. It's standard, but it's flexible. And basically, if you want to check the feasibility, the design of what you have, you just go online, robotiq.com or designersuite.robotiq.com to our online simulator. It's what you see right now. So basically, you would access this. It will be in 4 steps. The little image you have on the left, where you first type in your box, so dimension and weight of your boxes, if there's any labels. Then after that, you will be entering your information about the pallets that you have, because we're compatible with Euro or US pallet and many others that are less common. Then the information about your conveyor, how high it is, how wide it is, what's the orientation of the conveyor. We can have pretty much any kind of orientation. And then finally, you set your pallet pattern. And if you have more than one pattern, so if you have interlocking patterns, you can set that. Then the simulator will start, will do its job. It will propose you a solution. It's really typical that there's more than one solution that fits, but it will show you one that works. It will give you your KPI, like what's your throughput, your boxes per minute that you can get, and then you can iterate with that. You can test your different patterns and everything. So that that is basically the design step summarized in all of this. So it's really powerful. Instead of doing like the classic integration method, they would do offline simulation. It's gonna take a couple of weeks to get to something like that in a couple of minutes, basically.
Very cool. Thanks, Etienne. And then I guess it leads us now to the solution. What has been, how was the decision process, for example?
Yeah, so we have a complete range of palletizer that we have two family basically, the AX series and the P series. The AX series are mounted on an axis, on a 7-axis, so the whole robot is moving up and down basically. The P series are on fixed pedestals. The AX series typically will use them if we have very high pallets. So today the case story is about saving cost in terms of wage, and the P20 was a really good fit. But it's typical that we have customers that the ROI will not be on saving labor; it will be on building higher pallets, because they can fill trucks and they can save on shipping basically. So the AX series would be a very good fit for that. They have difference in terms of height and payload that you can reach, and with that whole family, we can do pretty much everything that we get asked. So we picked for this one the P20. It's our flagship. It's the one that we use the most. It has a very well balanced features. It can lift up to 20 kg. So in this case, the boxes, of course, the cakes are not 20 kg or 50 pound. The cakes are lighter than that, but with this payload, we can do multi-pick. So basically picking more than one box at a time. So to go faster, to have better throughput. So this is why we like that payload. The reach of the robot is really good, 1.75 meters. We need that for the interlayers that we'll see later. It's really useful to have that reach. All of our solutions have the same software, the same free software. It has a lot of value in terms of simplicity, but also in terms of performance. The software will basically control the robot to do all the trajectory planning. And that's for all of our solutions. So with that, we maximize the throughput that you can get from a Cobot. And we really have an edge on all the competition with that. One important aspect for this project specifically was the fact that the P20 can be used in collaborative mode. We limit the speed and force of the robot so that it can work alongside humans without safeguards. We can move it. That's definitely needed. You can see the forklift inserts at the base of the palletizer. This is where you would insert the forklift forks so that you can move it around. And it's really compact. It could barely be more compact than that. Delivery and setup is the same or roughly the same for all of our palletizers. So we because it's a standard project, we ship in 2 weeks. That's always surprising for our customers. If they have approached an integrator for with industrial robot, usually they are given a lead time of 6 months, 8 months, a year sometime. We deliver in 2 weeks, and the setup, so going on the production floor from the box to where we're in production is 1 or 2 days. That's
Yeah.
also really powerful.
Good. Thanks, Etienne. And a bit about the thanks, Vikesh, for the thumbs up also. We appreciate the reactions, people being there on the line. So let's dive into the specific how we adapted it to the P24 Axe requirements.
Yeah. So you see on this image on the factory floor at ACT the interlayers. First of all, I have to say that there's many different ways of handling the interlayers. That's one way to do it, but that's not the only way. Sometimes the interlayer racking can be vertical or horizontal or inclined, like in this. It can be on the side or it can be on top of the conveyor. It really depends on how the factory floor is arranged. So we will arrange the layout to basically allow the robot to do his job, but also to make sure that the operators can fill this interlayer rack with sufficient ergonomics. So we don't want to create problems. We're there to solve problems. So basically, having the rack over there will allow the robot to pick the interlayers, even if we palletize left and right. Having them at this height will also optimize the cycle time, and it's just above the pick place. So with that, it's really the sweet spot for in terms of performance, I would say. Then we have the tooling. The tooling had to be adjusted. What you see on the photo with the cups in yellow and green is our standard tool, PowerPick 20 for 20 kg. In this scenario at ACK, we had to pick sometimes 2 boxes at a time. So we doubled the amount of cups, and it's using 2 independent valves. So basically, you have 4 cups picking 1 box and 4 cups picking the other. And our tool is versatile enough that it can pick 1 box, 2 box, and it can pick the interlayers. So that's part of our turnkey services to customize that. Moving the palletizer from one line to the other. You've seen it in the video, how it's done. It was really accelerated, but basically you get the idea that you put the robot to a safe position, you shut it down, and then they move the whole line, so it all moves in a bunch together, and they move it to the other line. They plug it back, power it up, and it's ready to go in production in we were expecting 15 minutes when we were preparing the project, so it's really good to see that they are now able to do it in less than 10, 20. To allow that, we will anchor the solution on the concrete. If you want to go to a permanent setup and to go maximum speed, it would be anchored on the concrete. But for this one, we use these extension basically so that it's not anchored, but we have to make it wider so that it's stable and it's not flipping basically. It's hard to see on the photos, but the palletizer is also attached to the conveyor and to the interlayer. So all of that is in a block so that we keep accuracy. Yeah, so you see it in this image with the brackets at the bottom of the conveyor that are attached to the palletizer basically. So with that, it means that the robot can operate without anchors. It can be moved around. It stays accurate. It can do its job, and it's really low cost. That's just like few bits here and there.
Yeah. Thank you, Etienne. Where I see already the time flying. So a quick note, maybe Etienne, about how it looks like, the integration timeline.
Yeah, that's a real typical timeline that 2 weeks after the order we will ship. So the customer confirmed the order around Christmas time. So early January we were shipping, mid-January, and then we were installing in a couple of weeks later. So from the time they order to the time that we install, it was only 6 weeks, and the installation was done in 2 days.
Amazing.
Yeah, and again, a typical deployment, day one is set up. So you should expect, if you're a customer listening to us, you should expect that you need to stop your production for one day when we actually physically set up and assemble and everything. On the second day, we usually ask our customer to start producing. The robot will be doing the palletizing, and it's typical that we will be doing fine tuning basically on the program. And lastly, on the day three, everything is in production, and we're doing operator training and maintenance training, ending off for the customers to be autonomous.
Indeed. And just as they said, operators, for the operators themselves, it was after one day they were already fit with it and able to manage the solution. So on the operate side, so Etienne, for the final, what are the true costs of end-of-line palletizing and how to prepare and evaluate ROI?
You can get our Lean Robotics ROI calculator. There's 4 steps basically, and it will give you the estimated ROI. First is the baseline, so that's how are you operating as of today. Before automating, what's your baseline? In this scenario, it's the 2 shift per day, 8 hours shift, and a bit more than 1 employee to tend the palletizing. Then you have your investment in the next bucket. If you click Ellie, we'll have the investment. So that's basically, of course, the cost of your turnkey solution. This is a typical cost. We range from that's all in euros. That's my day-to-day, but it's very similar in US dollars. We range from the lowest maybe at 85,000 and the most expensive at 200,000, depending on the options. So in this scenario, we had a couple of options to add, like the interlayers and the customization of the tooling. You need to consider the cost of your line rearrangement. In this scenario, the conveyor costs are not very high because it was basically adding rails and a stopper. The pneumatic setup and the electrical setup is very cheap with the Cobot. The electrical setup is just a standard outlet, so there's no need for 3-phase high voltage electricity. And the next part, is the scenario where you will be doing your saving. So on the left, it's before you automate, and on the right, it's after you automate. You still have more than zero. So one thing to understand, employees will not be zero after that. You still need somebody to take the pallets that are full, put pallets in, and fill the interlayer. So that's why we have 0.25 as the number of employees after. And last little thing, it's not much, but it's the maintenance cost, bottom right that you see. The yearly cost is basically changing suction cups, and monthly and the monthly bill for your electricity and air supply, which are quite low with a Cobot. And this will give us on the next one the ROI estimation. So that's a visual. In green is your investment, in blue your cash flow, and your yearly saving are in gray. So this one has the predicted ROI of roughly 17 months.
Very nice.
And it's matching the reality basically. I think we have it next.
It's in this case we have a question about that the different prices. So here is just the example of hack. We realize it's also in euros, so feel free. It might be lower in some region, so make sure that you request an adequate quote for your region. So in terms of ROI, so it confirms with Simon Goodman. He said it. He might have said it in the video, but we've had a long discussion also aside. So ROI in their case, we had evaluated 17 months. I'm sorry, but they confirmed the 14 to 16 months, and as you were about as we discussed, and there's also other advantage, not only money wise.
Yep.
So in this case, as you said, that reduced the staff shortage and also redirected these people to other value-added tasks. And about the operators, Etienne, how was it?
Yeah, it's really this is really nice to see, but it's common that when we install the operators, they will, of course, it's a big change for them, and the reactions are not always the same. Sometimes they are curious, sometimes they're just shy, they stay away from it and they watch it. But after some time, it's usually accepted in this way, so that they figure out that the Cobot solution is a tool for them to do their job. It's not an enemy, and usually they adopt it. So it's quite common. It's quite common that they give it a name. So I'm not surprised to see that they name their palletizer Palletto, and that they don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah, it really happens a lot of times. So thanks, Etienne, for that. And Etienne, how does the people on the line, how they can start their project? What are the next steps, for example?
You will need to get in contact with us through our website. You have the contact us section. You can also directly go to our designer, like I've said before. You will need to know a bit of information about what you want to do in terms of boxes or case. It's not always boxes. Your pattern, pallet data. Try to know the throughput of your line. We all know it, but an image is worth 1,000 words. So try to have pictures of your factory floor, even best to have a video. That can tell many things to our experts, and they will be able to guide you in the next steps.
Indeed. So everybody on the line will receive the recording. We'll send you also the link for the ROI calculator, the configurator. But you also have a box if you want to book a meeting with our team and start the discussions and having your project on the road. We have more than 200 partners worldwide, so feel free to reach out to us wherever you're joining us from. As you see the little red pins here, it's the office, the HQ in Quebec, and our office in Lyon. But we have more than 200 partners to serve you through the lean robotics methodology. Whoops. And yeah, it's about time. We're right on time, 30 minutes in. It's about time now for your questions. If you have any question about specific needs, a specific element that we've covered, please feel free to write to me in the chat with your questions. We already have one or two coming. So Etienne, we have Sam here asking, is it possible to use my own gripper, or we have to work with Robotiq gripper?
The palletizing solution are gripper agnostic, so we can configure any kind of gripper, and not only like suction cup stop gripper. We can also work with mechanical, electrical, or pneumatic actuated grippers. That's quite common to pick open top boxes, for example.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So even with other brands also.
Yep.
And we have another question here in the chat. So we have a couple of these questions. Is there an opportunity to become a partner with you, with Robotiq? So feel free if you are a machine provider already, if you are serving the same type of customers, it's always possible to have to work with us and complete the full line. I don't know if you had something to add about that, Etienne.
No, nothing else.
Definitely connecting with our team will be the best part, and we can work also with our partners locally. We have another question from Vikash. Can it work on two lines simultaneously, Etienne?
Yes, that's we will probably have some case study on that. It's also quite common. Two lines is easy to do, I would say. So if you have two lines, you would palletize one SKU to the left and one SKU to the right, because we handle two pallets. So that's really easy to do. If you have many lines coming together, then it's more the challenge would be more about the conveying aspect and merging them. But we can handle more than one, basically pick place. So two line is quite common, and we did it yeah, a fair bunch of times.
Indeed, yeah. That's why I always prepare this slide usually to show the multi-pick, the multi-recipe, working with two conveyor. We have also a great customer story on our website about another bread manufacturer. Actually, it's in Spain, the Pan Valero project. They thought they needed four palletizing solutions, but in the end we've been able to combine their two lines, and they had two palletizer palletizing the four lines. So thank you for the question, Vikesh. I appreciate. Matthew, a question from Matthew. So regarding the P20, what is the weight of the entire unit?
The robot is 68 kg, and the palletizer, I don't remember exactly. It must be like 50 kg, something like that. If I had to guess, I know that the robot is 68 kg and it's a bit too heavy for a man to lift. So when we install, we need some assistance like a hoist or a forklift to lift the robot and put it on a column. And I think just the column is probably close to 50 kg, in fact, because it's really a thick steel. But of course, compared to an industrial setup, it's really light. Depends what's your reference. But yeah, it's somewhere in between 100 and 200 kg total, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Matthew, feel free to reach out or to discuss the important points. And yep, and then I had a question. We always have the question about what's the payload again. So maybe Etienne, defining again. I can go back to the
Yes,
slide
we're
with.
working with three of the universal robots to do our palletizing: the UR10, the UR20, and the UR30. So you see the UR10 is used on the PE10 and AX10. It can lift, it's a bit confusing because it was launched as UR10 for 10 kg, but now it lifts 12.5. And if you remove the weight of the tool from that, we can expect 11.5 kg of payload. Then we work, now the core of our palletizing is done with the UR20, either on the P20 or the new AX20. With this one, we can lift up to 20 kg. So if you remove the weight of the tool, you have 18 kg of useful payload. And the last baby we have is the massive AX30 with a UR30 that can lift 30 kilogram mounted on a 7-axis. And again, with the weight of the tool that you remove, you have a usable payload of 27, roughly.
Indeed. Thank you, Etienne, for confirming. I have a good question from Bill here, and I think it's important to enter in many points. But so once installed, can it be maintained by the bakery maintenance, or it does require in-house engineering and possibility to have to call the integrator for tech support?
Good question. That's also in our advantage, but the maintenance is really low. If you use our standard tool, the only maintenance you have to do is the suction cups, basically, and we say cleaning the filters of the PLC cabinet. So basically, it's a visual inspection that can tell you that the suction cups are degrading, and you basically just need to change them. It's just a screw and unscrew. So in my opinion, you don't need an expert to do that. And it's quite low cost. I had it in the ROI calculator. The average is like 500 per year for that cost. That's to be expected if you run 3 shifts. So if you run 2 shifts or 1 shift, the maintenance costs are even lower than that. So if you run a single shift a day, your suction cups will probably need to be changed only once every 2 or 3 years. Unless you have a very harsh environment. So if your environment is like full of dust and really dirty, it's a different story. But that's not the case for most of our customers.
Indeed. So definitely one of the key elements of collaborative robot is really being able to be autonomous and having your team being able to do the work. And if you have any new SKU to teach, any new products, in this case, the customer has various requirements from their customers, so they have to be autonomous in being able to make it work and deploy new lines. So with industrial robots, you couldn't do this type of project, but with cobots and the add-on of the software, the Robotiq software, this is possible. Robotiq is, as always, a support line 24/7, and we also work with our partners locally. So as you say, if you are, let's say, in Argentina, for example, or if you are in Asia, in America, we have more than 200 partners worldwide. So we're well equipped to serve our customers locally and internationally. A good question about it. So is there an issue? Can I have your permission, hey Scott, permission to use the ROI calculator in an academic setting? For sure. It's available on our blog. Feel free to use it. And if you want to discuss this with our team, we have a dedicated team for academic projects. So we'll be there to support you. Good question. So Randy Smith is asking, do you have a maintenance school for my service tech to become certified in maintaining your robots?
Typically, if we do a turnkey service, we will train. That's the last part of our project, is to train for maintenance. If the question is coming from a potential partner from us, then you should get in contact with our tech trainer. We have technical training for our partners and integrators.
Exactly. And it's possible to have the training here at Robotiq, or if it's the local, if you're the people at your facility, definitely there's a training available, and both done by Robotiq or our partner. It's something that's being done. We also have even the e-learning platform that you can train your people on before the deployment, so that you can get well acquainted with the solution. And one more question. We're already at 10:45. So is there any vibration issues due to not fixing the installation to the floor? Etienne. So this is an interesting question, because this is one of the part of having this mobility advantages.
I don't remember if I've mentioned it, but to use it without anchors, one thing we do, on one side there's the hardware to make it more stable, but on the other side there's the software also. So we put some limits in terms of momentum, speed, acceleration, and force to keep it stable. We would not be able to use it at the maximum speed. If you use the maximum parameters without anchors, it could be possible in theory, but you would need some very massive setup to make it stable, like a big steel plate. So in this situation, we use just a little bit of brackets basically to make it stable, and we limit the momentum so that the robot is not accelerating too fast. And because if it would be accelerating too fast, it would be shaking, like our attendee is asking now.
Yeah, so thank you, Antal, for the good question. So we have a couple more questions, but we'll follow up. Want to respect also everybody's time. So feel free to reach out again and send us any question you might have in the chat. If you want to start discussing about your project, all our team is available, and we appreciate your presence today. We hope you've enjoyed the story, and feel free to share the recording to one of your colleagues or any other people that might be interested, and we'll be more than happy to support you on the coming ones. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day, and thank you, Etienne. Such a great presentation again. I really appreciate your support, as always.
Thank you, everyone.
I know, Etienne, you have to run. I will keep answering to one or two questions on the chat.
All right. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you for the questions.
Have a great day. So Manuel, you have a good question. So who's able to prepare a program for the robot or a specific line? Only Robotiq? No, not at all. So the software is made that you are capable of building the program, but Robotiq has a complete trajectory generation software with a lot of capabilities. So if you have any other new line, if you have any new boxes to teach, everything can be done by yourself directly on the teach pendant that you see here on the image. So there's no external computer, no external software programming capabilities that are needed. Everything is being done there. We often compare the technology of collaborative robot to using an iPhone. So we make it easy that you and I, with very few skills in programming, can do this. It's always funny to have some kids at the office and starting to play with a robot and building their own program, which we really appreciate. So Manuel, I don't know about your question, but maybe you are concerned about being able to do it by yourself. So you're not stick to an integrator that you have to call every time you need to do a change. Or for example, if you're at night, it's on the night shift, and you feel like you have less access to some people, you should be able to check this. So we had a question from Juan. I don't know, Juan, I cannot make you talk. I'm not so sure. No, enable mic. Maybe I can enable your microphone, so maybe you can talk and ask your question, but I'm not so sure that is possible. Maybe we can make a test. So Juan, if you can talk, you can unmute yourself and ask your question or write it in the chat. Maybe it's not working. So I saw you had a raised hand. Feel free to unmute yourself, Juan, if you want to ask your question. Otherwise, I will end up the session and we'll meet each other for the next one. Feel free to reach out to us afterward. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks again for joining us, and see you on the next Automation Talk.